You're listening to the CPASS Foundation podcast featuring students interested in STEM. Please welcome our cast of players.
Hi, my name is Elise. I'm a rising junior at Thornridge High School, and I'm at CPASS.
Hello, my name is Rolph. I'm a rising junior at North Carolina High School, and I'm part of the CPASS STEM Scholars Academy.
Hello, my name is Adrian. I'm a rising junior at Oak Park and River Forest High School, and I'm also a part of the CPASS STEM Scholars Academy.
My name is James. I'm a rising senior at De La Salle, and I'm a part of the CPASS STEM Scholars Academy.
So today we are going to be talking about how music affects the brain and more specifically your mood. And we have a list of questions that we're kind of going around and answering. Like the first one being, how does the music you listen to affect your mood?
I think personally, like the music you listen to doesn't affect your mood like a lot, but it still is going to affect your mood nonetheless. Because I remember when I was a kid and I would be listening to like a sad song, I'd be sitting like next to the car window. And when we would be driving past, I would imagine myself in a music video, just like being sad, like the artist was being. So I feel like when you're like listening to music, it kind of like, you kind of like immerse yourself into it a bit. And, you know, when you listen to sad music, you're going to feel sad. And when you're listening to like happy dancing music, you're going to want to get up out there and you're going to want to dance too.
I mean, sort of like what Elise is saying, like, yeah, I felt that part too as a kid, like listening to those type of sad songs, I guess, in the car rides. It would be like you're connecting with the song, but at the same time, like I remember this one time, it was a funny time. Like I was saying, like during finals week, listening to music, because I'm feeling like finals week is always listening to music, like studying and getting all those things done. I remember that it's just like my brain just heard this one song and like I just started getting nostalgic, I think, memories. So I feel like the type of music you listen to really like affects your mood. Either could bring you down or bring you down, you know?
Yeah, I think that you could be listening to like a very sad song and then for some reason it just switches to something very like happy or upbeat and you're kind of just like, what just went on? Because for the entirety you were listening to the sad song, you were kind of, like you guys were saying, resonating with the song itself. And then you kind of switch and then now you don't really know what to think because should you still be sad and be listening to this really, really upbeat song, or should you like become happy now? And I think it also has to do with like waking up in the morning. You can't really like, obviously in the morning, you're really tired. You just woke up. You really don't want to get up sometimes. You know, you kind of just want to sleep until like 12 o'clock or something. And you could be listening to like a calmer song or like a really upbeat song. And I think that'll really change the way that you really go throughout your day, because if you wake up listening to a sad song, you could be in like a bad mood all day or something, down all day.
Yeah, I feel like I don't really feel like music could affect your mood that much. Like there are sad slow songs, but there are also like upbeat songs with like depressing lyrics. So it really just like depends on the song. So that's why I feel like I don't really think that music could affect your mood that much because like I said, there are sad songs with an upbeat, you know, tempo. So it all depends on the song, not just the tempo of the song.
No, I really get that. I think that a lot of artists like to experiment on the way that they make their music, and that does include, like you've been saying, making like sadder songs with upbeat like backgrounds, or maybe vice versa. And I think that's also important because that kind of goes into like the question, do you really listen to different types of music during the day? Because maybe an upbeat song with a sad like lyrics, that could really change your mood, but you only listen to that like in the morning or at night before going to bed. So yeah, are there any different types of music you listen to during specific times of day?
I think I really listen to like the same playlist because I feel like honestly, when it comes to like the music, I feel like the lyrics really don't matter as much because a lot of like upbeat songs that we would be like jumping to as kids and we would like be playing on repeat would have like really sad or dark meanings and we wouldn't even realize it because the song is just so happy and the song is just so upbeat. Like that song Hey Ya from Outkast. It has really, so like when you actually look into it and you actually like listen to the lyrics, it has such a dark meaning. But in the music video, they're all like jumping, they're performing. And it's just like such a happy theme. Well, like not a happy theme, but it's just like it looks like really happy. And so you like look like deeper into it, you know?
Yeah, I think another good like example is Pumped Up Kicks. So that song has a very dark meaning, but it's very upbeat for some reason, and I feel like I'd listen to that throughout the day because it's upbeat. But then like now I've realized that you kind of listen to that like when you're more down, mostly because of the lyrics. And I also think it depends on like what like if you only listen to the beat or the lyrics, but I think in like the morning I do like to listen to more upbeat songs or like slower but upbeat songs, while midday I'll listen to mostly upbeat, and at night maybe I'll play more slower, sadder, or like just lower songs.
Yeah, like sorry, my bad. But like Adrian was saying, like in the mornings I would also listen to like I guess hyped up songs, mostly like a lot of the trending songs that there's going on, because I don't know, for me it's like in a way it brings like your your confidence up for me, and then it makes you have like more energy throughout the day, and then like you're gonna go out there and he's like you're not gonna be with that like I guess serious face. You're gonna be more like I don't know, like more chill, and everything's gonna go smoothly.
No, I totally agree with that. Honestly, when it comes to like listening to upbeat music in the day, that's honestly like because I typically don't drink coffee, but that's basically like my coffee kind of. It really just makes me want to like get up in the day, unless it was like I really have to be like up like insanely late to not like want to get up to like an upbeat song.
I'm gonna say no. I don't listen to music during certain like hours of the day, only because there isn't a certain moment where I'm not listening to music. I'm either listening to music or I'm not, because I love music. So like there is rarely a time where you see me like not singing music or listening to music. So I would say I don't listen to music at certain times of a day. I would say that it's like 24/7 for me.
Oh, that makes sense. But what about studying? Do you think that you find yourself to be more productive when listening to a certain type of music? Like, I know that when I listen or when I study, I like to listen to more, I think, songs that focus more on the, like, beat and production itself than the lyrics, because then I won't get as distracted when actually studying.
Honestly, I feel like when it comes to certain songs, I feel like songs that I've listened to like more and more and more, just because like I'm like more familiar with how it goes, so I'm not paying as much attention to the actual song. I feel like that makes it easier to like study, and I get more work done when I'm doing that, because like I already know what's gonna happen. I know what the next beat is gonna be, and I guess it makes it like easier. Like I'm just tuning it out at that point.
Yeah, like for me it's mostly like I just listen like when I study I just listen, I guess, sad songs, but not sad songs in a way, because when I put my AirPods on and I start doing my work, it's like I hear I think especially now with the iPhone settings, I think they got the Dolby audio spatial, so it's like I hear those effects and all those panning in different areas. So for me it's like I'm mostly listening for the melody. It's like the melody and like just it's like the little details you hear in the song.
So Adrian, I'm gonna tell you this: you have a lot more discipline than me, because when I'm studying, I do not pay attention to the production and melody. I pay attention to only the lyrics. That's why I cannot listen to music when I'm studying, because I'll get too caught up in the lyrics, and then I'll start singing along, and then it's it for me. Like I cannot multitask at all, so I need complete silence when I'm studying. I can't listen to music and study. Like I love music, but that's usually the one time that I'm for sure not listening to music is when I'm studying.
No, that makes sense. I think, I don't know, I'm kind of the exact opposite. I can't study in like a whole silent area. I think I just like, if it's silent, I just start thinking about random things, and then just start thinking and like getting distracted, like, and stop doing my work, because I don't have anything like other than the work to kind of distract my brain, even if it's not like fully, and it's more just of like a background thing.
Yeah, I get what you mean, because when I'm studying and like my headphones are like dead, or like I just can't like have like any access to music, it feels like all like the background noises on like actually what's going on aside from that, the silence just makes it like really loud, and you can hear every little thing, and it throws my attention all the way off.
Yeah, like it gets I don't know, for me it gets like those small noises gets louder and louder and louder, and then like you don't even realize it. Let's say like you go to the library and then you're just trying to do your work, and you don't realize you just stay there like without your headphones, and you just hear all this noise, and you're just there like 20 minutes just staring, overthinking about something, and you just lose yourself right there, you know?
Yeah. I have a question for you, James. Do you think that listening to music during breaks rather than studying itself changes anything?
So it might, because it's a break, I might listen to music to prepare me for whatever the next thing is, because it's not necessarily the end, it's just a break in between the two. So it might prepare me for whatever is next. But yeah, it definitely changes things, because see, when studying, I need like complete silence. But like during a break, if like nobody's around, I'm probably listening to music.
That's real, I think. Because, I don't know. For me, I don't really like to have, like, breaks with my music. Like, if I'm listening to, like, one song, I'm going to want to go to the next song and then next and then next. And then I'm not going to really want to stop for the entire, unless I'm, like really need to pay attention. Like, if I'm in, like, class.
Yeah, I mean, like what Elise said as well, but like at the same time, I don't know for me, I don't know for y'all, but for me it's like when I go to class and when it comes to a point I have to take those headphones off, like I get scared to put them back on the case, because it's either it's gonna stop the song or either it's gonna keep playing. But what if your volume is blasting? But because that happened to me, and I think it was in engineering class, and it was, I think everyone was, it was so quiet. It was in the morning too, and it was just me and my teacher, and I had my song on, and then I didn't even really like, what am I listening to? And I just look into my pocket. It was like my phone just blasting music. It was so embarrassing. So that's why you gotta watch out, in case you gotta make sure your volume is down.
Yeah, I mean, I think I listen to music between classes because I think within like that small, like if you're in a class where you're just doing constant studying and you don't get access to like music or anything, and then you just have to go through passing period, which is normally only 5 minutes. I mean, that's what it's like for me, but it's like my passing periods are only 5 minutes, so it's 5 minutes from one class where I'm just doing a lot of studying to another where I'm doing studying. I think if I listen to the music between the 5 minutes, I kind of get enough that it'll last me for the next class, per se. It's not like guaranteed. I'd definitely do better if I could just listen to music while studying, but obviously most teachers don't like you to have AirPods in because they think you'll get distracted, or if something goes on, you won't be paying attention. But I don't know, I like to listen to music between and during, and I don't really have a preference.
No, I totally agree, because honestly, and I hate that it's not allowed, but if the teacher were to like lecture like as I'm listening to music, I feel like I would absorb the information like 10 times more. But I don't know, because I know like we can't really like do that, because I know a lot of kids, they'll have like their music all the way up. Even like when headphones aren't allowed, they'll still have like their music all the way up, and they'll be toning the teacher out. And I think they kind of like ruin it for everybody, because not everyone is going to tune the teacher out with music.
Yeah, no, I completely believe that. I think your comment on like people toning out the teacher or like the professor or whatever is, I think that's very true. I think that's mostly the reason why, and it's not like everybody does it like you said. It's always a certain group of people, but teachers like to just go for everybody, because it's it's like the simplest method to do so, and then also like it kind of just shows like the whole class not to really break the rules or anything. But I think that listening to music is definitely something I would like to do more, because I feel like when I listen to music, I don't know why, but I feel like I memorize things better. I think it like affects my memory. And I don't know if that's like just for me or for other people, but that's something I'd like to ask.
Yeah. Actually, I do have a question regarding that for all of you guys. But do you think that what we were saying, like how listening to music helps you like remember more, do you think different genres of music would help your memory more? Well, like differently?
I mean, when I think of like the things that'll help the most, I think of more just instrumentals or like beats or like lo-fi or something. I feel like if that's in the background, that'll be clearing my brain up, and then I can focus more on the things that either I'm reading or studying, that my memory probably will work better, and I think I'll be able to take down more information and not have to do as much when it comes to like taking notes or other forms of memorizing things or taking in information. So yeah, I think different genres definitely do help, because if I'm listening like I know some people that are very interested in various different genres. I know some people that like rock, people that like R&B or hip hop, people that like classical or jazz. And I think like, I mean, I'm not a big fan of rock, and not to say that it's not good or anything, but I feel like if I were to just listen to like a lot of guitar, like heavy electric guitar and other instruments like that, I feel like I wouldn't even be able to focus, because I think rock is a very loud type of music, and I would not be able to like focus on anything but the music. So I think different genres definitely do affect the way I can focus, and in turn like the way I can memorize things.
Yeah, I think, honestly, I can't speak for everyone when I say this, but I feel like when I'm listening to more like fast-paced, heavier music, I have to listen to that like as I'm working. If I need to listen to something, and if I need to listen to someone, and I need to actually like pay attention to what's going on, I'm gonna need to listen to like something like slow, that would be like more like ambient or like background music. Cause I listen to a lot of fast-paced music usually, and I feel like that like kind of puts me in like my own zone or like in my own bubble.
Yeah, like like Elise was saying, like I also feel like the more, I guess if the song has a faster BPM, is like which means BPM is just like the speed of the music. I feel like your body starts like trying to, I guess, adjust with that type of song in a way, because for me, when I seen it in sports, when I play sports, it's like before a game, you always put in the hyped up song, and then when you get to the game, it's like your body's already like feeling that hyped, and it makes you perform even better, I say. But also like, I say the type of music, like Elise was saying, like if you listen to a slow song, like I would also have to listen to a slow song when the teacher is doing a lecture or something, because then I would immediately just lose concentration or just start zoning out or anything like that.
So yeah, I agree with Adrian. If it's like jazz or classical or like something like with like a slow instrumental, that'll probably affect my memory. But any other music, I would say no, it wouldn't.
Kind of coming back to like what Rolph was saying, when, kind of coming back to like what Rolph was saying, when I'm like preparing for a game, or when I would be preparing for a game. Honestly, I can't like speak for like other people, but the fast-paced music would just drain me completely. I would listen to something like slow, something like really like calm and relaxing, so I can get in like the right headspace, so I don't like end up like panicking, or I don't end up like just messing up or getting like too reckless in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you could go.
Okay. I completely get that. I feel like different people need different environments to succeed, and music can definitely affect, like we were talking about how it can affect our mood. I think it can also affect your brain activity. If you're listening to like a fast-paced song, your brain is going to be a lot more stimulated, and everything's going to be like firing off a lot more, which can definitely affect like your performance. You might be a lot more fast-paced and like more active, but if you're the type of person that needs to be very zoned in and you don't need as much like fast-paced stuff, then you'll definitely want to listen to different like slower songs, because then your brain will be more controlled and calm when you're actually doing what you need to do.
But then like also, I don't know, like going back to like how y'all were saying about the things on the classes, how they don't let you use your phone and things like that. Like it just brought me to remember this one time, like hearing, I don't know if it has happened to y'all, like there's just people that blast music and then you could hear those things coming out of the headphones, and it would be the funniest because everyone's just staring at you thinking it's you, but in reality it's like the person right next to you, and that feeling after is like, is it me or is it them? And it just goes like I don't know, for me just like you just go into panicking and think about it.
Yeah, I think I've definitely, like, even here at CPASS, I've experienced people that just blast their music and I can hear it through their headphones, and I'm kind of like, that's the reason why they don't want us to even have our headphones in.
Yeah.
Because if I could hear it and I'm not even like that close, I think other people would be able to. And I mean, it's not fully distracting, but I feel like if it's not really your music that you're listening to, it also makes it a little bit more harder to understand what's going on, because you kind of just have like an extra noise just in the background.
It would be funny because let's say it's not the like everyone will look at you, but it will get to a point like the professor or the teacher hears it, and you just see the face of the teacher is like, whose music is that? And their reaction for me is like really funny because I feel like their expectation like is like to us listen to like calm songs, but there be some people that listen like so fast paced songs like we were saying, and it just be, I guess, embarrassing or like funny for them in a way.
Yeah. I think when I listen to music, I definitely need to have it quieter, because if it gets too loud, then I feel like I just can't focus on anything else. And I don't know. Another thing that might be like, not a problem obviously, but it might also distract me when I'm listening to music is I feel like when I kind of look through like the actual like beat, or maybe like look at the lyrics, and I feel like when something's intricate, like I listen to a lot of music that's very production based, and I think I just like to look at the production and see what the producer does, and I think that kind of distracts me sometimes. So I was wondering if you guys think that listening to music will affect people differently if they actually have training. Like obviously there's people that study music, so if they study that like for a hobby or for a living, does that really affect them differently than like the average person just listening to music while studying?
Oh, definitely. Because honestly, I feel like when you're spending all the time like studying like the beats, and you're studying the melodies and the pitches and stuff, you're going to pay more attention to how it is. Just like how like filmmakers, they'll notice like more like mistakes, and they'll notice more like parts in movies, and they'll pay more attention because they know how it goes like behind the scenes. So they're kind of like thinking how the producer of the song that they're listening to is probably like could relate to them, you know?
Yeah, I get you, because for me, from my experience, I do DJing like as a side thing, and I feel like at a point I was like I was on the laptop all day just listening to any new songs, because I feel like as a DJ, or just saying anybody in general just listens to the newest song and tries to, I guess, adapt or whatever. But for me, it came to a point I was like, I'm tired of music. Like I didn't even want to listen to music for a whole week, because it was just like I spent 2 hours, like let's say Monday, then another two or 1 hour and a half on Wednesday, and then it would just get to a point that I'm just tired. Like I don't want to listen about music. I don't want to put my headphones on, because even after parties, coming back from home, I would hear that, I guess, probably my ear. I think I was blasting a little too much music in my ears, that it would leave the noise that I would hear when I get to my room and I'm staring in the ceiling. I just hear that little like it's the
like ringing.
Yeah, it's ringing. Like my ears are ringing, because even though I put like, I guess, professional equipment for my ears, but I feel like at a point I think I'm gonna start losing hearing when I'm older. But yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, I don't know, for me, I don't know if it happens to y'all, that y'all just get bored of music at a point.
Yeah, that kind of happens to me. When honestly, because I used to go to like a lot of like the shows locally, and you can get way closer to like the stage if you're like at a local concert compared to like if you're at like an actual arena or someone's actual like show.
Yeah.
And when I would be like on the car ride back, I wouldn't even want to listen to the radio because my ears would still be ringing, especially when you're listening to really like heavy like music or like really like if you're like mere feet away from like the actual stage.
Yeah, I really think that it could definitely affect somebody who's musically trained because, like you said again, Adrian, I pay attention to like the production of music, not necessarily the lyrics all the time. So if like an average person like me is paying attention to like the production of the song and not necessarily the lyrics, I feel like somebody who's musically trained can definitely catch more than I can. So it's definitely an adjustment for them rather than for me.
Yeah, I feel like if I was really trained, I feel like I'd just start hyper analyzing like every single little thing.
Yeah.
And that'd probably distract me a lot. Like Rolph was saying, I think I just get tired of music because it just distract me too much or like other things like that.
And you just get bored of it, you know, like
Yeah.
you just get bored of it. And, like you don't want to even listen to that genre of music.
Yeah, because I feel like even if something's so like good, like you like it a lot, I feel like even too much of it is bad sometimes. Like, or not bad, but it just gets to be too much.
It's repetitive in a way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like even if it's good food, you don't want to eat too much.
Yeah, like that even happened to me yesterday. Like just walking, I think back to dorms, it was like I had this one song that I found out because I've been trying to look for it over like 3 months, and then for me it's like I just kept listening for I think it was like almost an hour straight. It was like repeating, because I don't know. For me, like you were saying, it's the production. Like I look into like I guess how the instruments are recorded, but also like. Because for me, I'm always fascinated about seeing like how nowadays they have the technology, they have like Dolby Atmos, and like you see Dolby Atmos everywhere, like legit I guess in movie theaters, and it's just like those small effects I feel like makes music so good. But I feel like at the same time, I don't know if a producer will like it just seeing like a lot of things, and I feel like at that point they would also get bored, but I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I think that maybe they just switch to a different type that they haven't heard in a while, or they just don't listen to music at all. And obviously, James, I know you mentioned you don't really like listening to music, but for the other, like, for you guys, what music do you guys like listening to while studying?
I listen to like honestly, I just listen to the songs that I like the most, and especially the genres I like the most, because personally, I really like EDM. I really like that kind of fast paced music. And I feel like that really gets me going enough to not want to like fall asleep, you know.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a lot of like I guess Latin songs and a lot of the I guess guitar songs you hear nowadays because, like I said again, and I'll keep mentioning it again, it's the details that matter for me, and like those small details. Like I've been listening to this artist, I think it's Ivan Cornejo, and then it's just those small details, those reverbs, those small effects that you hear in those songs just like make you just, I don't know, for me, I just get locked in, just connects with studying and everything.
Yeah, so I like to listen to early's hip-hop, like early 2000s hip-hop and rap. So more like names like Kanye West, Pharrell Williams, people like that. They're very like production-based. And I think that I do like to look at the production, but I feel like sometimes it helps me stay focused because it's something to kind of just, even if it's like as simple as hearing some random instrument or like sound that I've never heard before, that definitely like helps me keep focused on whatever I'm doing because I don't fully look into it, like what their thought process was behind it, but I just kind of note it down and I think that, you know, it's cool. And then I kind of just go back to doing what I was doing, whether it's researching or studying. And yeah, I think music is extremely important when it comes to studying or just like in life in general, because I think it always can reflect who you are in a way. And your brain can get very, like, it gets very affected by music.
Yeah, like you were saying, like, I also look, like, it came to a point, like, I went on YouTube and I started seeing these YouTube videos, like, I guess the behind the scenes. And I hear you saying how the music starts and like how all these things started making all the instruments. And I remember seeing like, cause seeing the production behind it, you just see like it's those small sounds. I guess it could even be like a door knock, or I think it even came to a point like hitting a cup or something, and they like pitch that into a beat, and then you just don't like you just see the product, but then you hear the song and then look back at it. It's like how the way they started. It's just like it fascinates me because like there's just so many steps into making a song that you don't realize until you see the actual hard work, or even like how you were saying the thought process of it. So I mean, it just I don't know how y'all seen it, or I don't know. I would consider y'all looking at it. So
Yeah, I've definitely looked at like behind the scenes for some of my favorite albums, because I think just being able to see how like what he did or how special it was or how different it was than other things, I think that was just very, interesting to see, and I found it really cool.
Yeah, like when I'm thinking of production, I think of big names. Like I think of like Pharrell, I think of Kanye, I think of Timbaland, I think of Missy Elliott. So like I don't know if this song is familiar to you guys, but when I hear like "You Don't Know My Name" by Alicia Keys, I feel like that conversation like right in the middle of the song was like pretty cool. Was a pretty cool touch that Kanye added, and it was like one of like the first songs that he like produced for a big artist, that he got like mainstream credit for. So I feel like that was pretty cool, and I like seeing him like in the studio like working that out. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think Kanye's actually like really good, not just as a rapper, but also like as a producer. And I feel like it takes like kind of like a really high level of like creativity to not only just like produce and make songs, but to also like consistently put together like songs. Because I don't know, I feel like when you hyperanalyze something like a lot, you'll start to like hear it in everything. Like if a mathematician is like studying for years and years and years, they're gonna see shapes in everything. They're gonna see the numbers in every little thing that surrounds them.
yeah, like Elise, you were saying, like I feel like at a point music just evolves day by day. Like comparing songs from back and today on, it's like music is just like changing in so many different ways. Like there's like new genres coming in and new artists coming in, and just you just see these ideas of like these young people coming in with it, but also the way like how they have the accessibility to do these songs by like I guess from a simple as a laptop, and not having to I guess spend a lot of money and go to a producer and do all these things. But yeah, I mean, I just say like music in general is like it really plays around with the head and with the mind of somebody, but it could either be positive or negative,
Yeah, because a lot of people nowadays, they're not even like making their own beats. They're like sampling beats from like the 50s and 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And it's like my generation, we don't even know what song that it's sampling. We just think it's such a good beat. They were doing it like in the 90s with like Tupac and Biggie sampling like the Isley Brothers or any other like artists from like the 60s and 70s. So I feel like the art of sampling is pretty cool because Kanye also did it too, and Kanye is like really good at it. So is Pharrell. So I feel like I really love the art of sampling because it gives you a taste of like a little bit of old school music while you're listening to new music at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like you were talking about Kanye, Pharrell, I love the way that in earlier albums they use a bunch of different old R&B names, or like just big names like Luther Vandross or Marvin Gaye in different songs. And I think it just really affects the brain a lot because you see it, like you think about it, but then at the same time, it also kind of just, the type of music you listen to, like we've talked about, kind of just affects you in different ways. And yeah, I think that'll be a great place to end off the episode. So yeah.
The views, thoughts, and
We'll
opinions
see you
expressed
guys
on
next
Speaker
time.
Zone do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of Lewis University or CPASS Foundation. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. Lewis University and CPASS Foundation names and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. This podcast was produced in the WLRA podcast studios at Lewis University. Visit lewisu.edu for more.